All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. I'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. Hope everybody is doing well today on this beautiful Tuesday. As always, let's turn off all distractions, grab a pen and paper, let's take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. All right. Um, we also want to make sure that we are taking massive action towards our goals. So we'll hop over to our credo. Stands for accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing you for any outcome, centering yourself, body, mind, and spirit, ensuring a balanced approach to trading. Trust in your education, strategy, trading skills, and intuition. Imagine your trade successfully materializing. Obey your trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on fear or greed, and never looking back or stopping once your trade has commenced. All right. Center ourselves focused on the task at hand. All right. So let's get to it. Real quick, just drop me one in the chat if you can hear me okay. Beautiful. Appreciate it. All right. Let's dive into some fundamentals, understand and get caught up on what's happening at the beginning of the week, and then we will dive into the charts. All right. So uh let's look at the calendar first. So had some FOMC members come to the microphone yesterday. I didn't get a chance to update on those speeches, but last night we had New Zealand inflation expectations. Um, mm, 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 mm. I have to read over that as well and get an update put into the community on that. This morning we had unemployment change for the pound at 2 o'clock. Um, and numbers aren't reflecting here. Hold on, let me refresh this. There we go. That looks better. All right, so inflation expectations quarter over quarter came in below expectation for the New Zealand dollar. Claremont count change, which is their unemployment rate, came in below the expectation here, right? Um, so this is the number of people claiming unemployment related benefits during the previous month. Okay, was expected to be at 15.2, but came in at 14.1. So the unemployment data isn't where they would like it to be, right? So not in this conversation, the back and forth when it comes to interest rates and cooling off the economy, things of that nature, you would see an increase in unemployment. And this did increase from the previous month, however, did not meet the expectation. So the job market is still hot, even in the UK. All right. And then look at the average hourly earnings, and those came in above expectations. So still have a very strong jobs market, and you have hourly earnings, average earnings increasing over the previous 3 months. So definitely something to watch. And the unemployment rate obviously below the expectation as well. So something to watch in the UK and how they discuss rates in the coming weeks, I believe. So something we'll definitely have to keep our eyes on, because that does put the UK in a space where they could be more hawkish in their conversation, seeing as things have not slowed down to their expectations. All right. Then we had at 2:30, we had CPI for the Swiss franc that came in well below the expectation. All right. So things are cooling off in Switzerland. And with that, we'll look at the charts and we'll see those Swissy pairs got a nice little boost. All right. So big news there. Later on today, we have CPI for the dollar, right? Investors have their eyes here. We had the CPI revisions that came out last week that showed things had slowed down at the close of the year more than reported. So looking to see if that trend continues. right? With this month over month and year over year CPI numbers that come out today. All right, so that's going to be big. And then tomorrow I got CPI for the pound as well. All right, so that's from the calendar. Let's hop over to trade and economics now and read some of these articles. So, on the U.S. side, annual inflation rate in the U.S. likely slow. So that's the anticipation to 2.9 in January 2024, which would be the lowest reading since March 2021. Following a brief increase of 3.4 in December compared to December, consumer prices are expected to rise 0.2%, matching the revised increase in the previous 2 months. Also, annual core inflation is expected to slow to 3.7, which will be the lowest reading since April 2021, compared to 3.9 in December, right? So looking for data to show things are continuing to slow down here in the US. Okay. Then, right, that Swiss inflation rate, annual inflation rate in Switzerland eased to 1.3% in January from 2024, 1.7 in the previous month, coming in less than the market expectation of 1.7. It marked the lowest reading since October 2021, as inflation for housing and utilities slowed to 2.5% from 3.3, while those for food and non-alcoholic beverages eased to 2.3 compared to 3.3. All right. Additional downward pressure came from a slowdown in prices for restaurants and hotels, and a decrease in costs of transportation, household goods, and healthcare. Right. So things are slowing down in Switzerland as stated. All right. Um, so that's there. And then hourly earnings, right? Coming out of the UK, regular pay excludes benefit pay in the UK went up 6.2% year over year, right? $626 a week in the 3 months to December. The lowest growth in 14 months compared to 6.7% rise in the previous period, but above the expectation of 6%, right? Wholesaling, retailing, wholesale restaurants sector saw the largest annual regular growth at 7.2. Manufacturing and finance business services sector both followed at 6.9 and 6.7 respectively. Adjusted for inflation, wage growth in real terms went up faster to 1.8 from 1.5, right? So we're seeing that's that wage conversation, right, that we have to pay attention to in the UK. All right. So that is that. And Brent crude held its recent advance to $82 a barrel on Tuesday, hovering to the highest levels in 2 weeks. All right. We do have some heightened geopolitical tension and continue to support the oil prices. On Monday, Israel conducted airstrikes in southern Gaza. After Israel Prime Minister Netanyahu rejected a ceasefire proposal from Hamas. However, diplomatic talks in Beirut suggest potential progress toward bringing down Israel-Hamas tensions. So we'll see how that continues to go. Meanwhile, on the demand side, uncertainties could limit oil price gains as inflationary risk could delay the Federal Reserve interest rate cuts. CPI data that we'll be looking for. All right. So that's it from a fundamental perspective. Benny, good morning, bro.
Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, everybody. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, bro. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. Always glad to be alive.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anything catch your eyes from a fundamental perspective?
Oh no, man, nothing outside of what you covered. You know what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on 8:30. Got to see the CPI coming out.
Yeah.
That's what the market is waiting on. So that's what I'm waiting on. So looking forward to seeing what's gonna happen with that.
Yes,
So
sir. That's definitely where all the eyes are pointed, man.
yeah. So as the dollar goes, so goes the world, right? In relation to currency. So uh, can't wait to see what happens at 8:30. Considering all the good economic data that we've been getting in the
Yeah.
United States. So if all the good economic data, if that CPI number comes through, below forecast, it'd be amazing to watch the price action on that. So
Exactly.
we shall see. So I'm in line with everybody else, man. Just waiting to see what happens at 8:30 with the CPI number. So
All right. Cool deal, bro. Appreciate
yeah.
you. Team, you guys see anything on the from a fundamental perspective that you want to bring to the table? Nope. All right, cool deal. Let's pop over to the charts. We'll start out with the DXY, and we're still caught in this range. All right, came back down to this was resistance support level, and we're just bouncing back and forth still. This is on the 1 hour chart. We'll come back to the 4, right? And you see where we sit. Not able to really break below this level, but not able to really sustain the push to the upside either. So today, 8:30 will likely tell the tale on where the dollar goes. All right. So we'll continue to monitor and see how things go from that perspective. All right. Bouncing out of there, we'll take a look at the dollar. Start with the dollar CAD. We'll go through some dollar pairs and we'll also go through some pound pairs, looking at the movement from the data this morning. So, on the dollar CAD, right, we're caught in a bit of a range here. Pull this out for a second, right? We're just pressing sideways, 786,618 retracement level on the AB boundary coming to the downside. Okay, so we'll continue to watch to see how price moves and see where the dollar goes. We got oil pushing to the upside. So depending on what that CPI data comes out, we could see this make its way to the downside if that CPI data comes in um, lower, right? So that'll be something for us to pay attention to there. Coming down to the 4, we have the beautiful 80/20 coming out of December. Got to our 618 retracement level, and there's our consolidation, right? So we want to see, do we break up and press to the upside, or do we continue this move down? All right. As we make our way down to the 1, when we're looking at this, right, if we run the fibs off the high, it gets a bit choppy, right? The most recent move coming out of December has been to the upside, right? So you see the AB boundary got taken out and we're pressing back long. So as the AB boundary gets taken out, we flip the fib and we run it in the opposite direction. Okay. So we're going to run the fib to the upside here. Boom. So on the 1 hour, this is where we sit, right? We know higher time frame, been ranging, looking for direction from a fundamental perspective. Here on the 1 hour, we got an up AB boundary, price push to 618 retracement zone, kind of stalling a bit right now at that level. So I got trend lines running to the downside here to see if we get a bullish break and close of the trend line, right? Bullish break and close, then we look for a pullback and a continuation long if the data also supports, right? The dollar potentially coming in above expectation on that CPI number. Now, if that number comes in below, right, we could see this continue to push down. And what could happen is we could see, could hear some of those talks about rate cuts again start to pick up depending on what that CPI number comes in at, right? So we'll continue to monitor that narrative um, and see how things go and see if investors get excited or if they're subdued a bit. So that price action that Benny's talking about when that number comes out is going to be interesting to see where price gets pushed. So that's the dollar CAD. We'll look to see what happens here at the 618 level on the 1 hour time frame. Questions on the dollar CAD? Nope.
No, sir.
All right, cool deal. Um, dollar Swissy. Remember, Swiss franc, right? Uh, took a hit, right? The CPI number came in below expectation. So as we come back to the daily, right, we see we're pressing off the lows and we're pressing to the upside here, right? Bring this up a little bit so we can see what's happening, right? but pressing long. Okay, pressing long. So, and then move to the upside, right? The extension here on this daily fib was achieved on the push down. This technically would be a new AB boundary there on the daily, and we're pressing to the upside there. Okay. So as we walk down to the 4, come back out, and run these fibs off the high. Boom. Right. There was an 80-20 end of December, push to the upside, and we're still running long. We're coming into this level of daily resistance here now. All right. So we've broken above these levels and we're headed topside. All right. That was a beautiful 80-20 scenario and just continue to run. Still inside that AB boundary. So we'll see where the data pushes price this morning. Okay. Strong bullish action because of that somewhat of a dovish sentiment for the Swissy. Okay. So now as we come down to the 1, we're going to run the fibs off the low because we know we're pushing to the upside here. All right. Bias is long. So we'll run the fibs off the low. There we go. Right. So let's watch this and see strong bullish action. We haven't gotten a 382 on this 1-hour time frame yet. Okay. So we'll see what the data holds before we enter this. Right. So we want to see what the reaction is after the data. Right. Because this might spike and push that push to get to that D extension. So we want to be cautious here and wait for after the information to then make a decision after price gets pushed. All right. So there's an 80-20 there, but we'll wait till after 8:30 to see how price moves. All right. So that is the dollar Swissy. Questions here?
Good morning.
Good morning, Marshall. What's going on?
I'm in this trade and I almost took profit at 0.8818, but that was at 3 o'clock this morning and I wasn't awake. So I was just curious as to, do you think it's reached that high? I just heard part of what you said about it hadn't reached the D extension and we were waiting for the CPI information at 8:30, but I wasn't sure if I should hold and wait for that info because I've got to head out of my office in about an hour and wouldn't be around to pay attention to that information and how it might affect this pair, or should I just take my profit and?
So what was your I got a couple questions for you. I'm curious on where your entry was on this move to the upside.
I got in. I'm up 95.6 pips. I got in. Hold on. Where's my entry? Well, where's my journal? Chief. I entered at 87088.
088. Okay. So my next question is, what do your rules say, right, when it comes to taking profit?
I'm still working on those, to be honest.
On that part?
Yes. Okay. Usually it's based partially on fundamentals and the news, and that's why I'm concerned about.
Gotcha.
I won't be near my computer when the news is released at 8:30.
Gotcha. If it were me, I would secure some of my profit just because it's unknown, right? Don't know how that data is going to come out and don't know how the market is going to respond to the data when it comes out. So if it were me in the situation, right? So looking from a 4-hour perspective, we're coming into an AB boundary, right? At a daily level of resistance. And here on the sub fib on the 4-hour, also got a D extension inside as well, right? So coming into some key resistance levels, right? With me saying that. So I personally, if this was my account, I would take the profit, allow price to reset, right? And look for new opportunities after the data comes out. If it was me personally, for those reasons, right? We're at a really high price off that 80-20 swing on the 4, right? Daily resistance level, D extension not far away. So a reversal of some sort could definitely be in sights. It's just a matter of when. So I'd rather take the profit and look for other opportunities opposed to giving money back to the market and then trying to figure it out from there. So that's what I would do personally. So think through that and know that the data is unknown. right? So would you rather protect your profit? And even, right, if you even take a partial profit, right? Move your stop loss into profit, take some off the table, and then see where it goes, right? But the other thing I'll challenge you to do as you're going through your walk this week is to really think about your exit rules, right? How you exit a trade and get really specific about that so that you can start to build that into your trading plan, so
Hmm.
that you can really be firm and consistent in that approach, right? So you can add that in for those steps of consistency.
That makes common sense. I agree. I did move my stop loss because I knew if I stayed in the trade, if I wasn't around, I didn't want to, lose too much of my profit. So I did adjust my stop loss
Okay.
to 8786. But I just wasn't sure. Like I said, if I head out, should I just go ahead and take profit and live to trade another day, or return home at lunchtime and it's like, wow, okay, I should have pulled out earlier.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
I, I
I Go
I
ahead.
agree with you. No, I was just gonna say I agree with you. Like I say quite often when I do comment, live to trade another day. So I think I
Live to
will
trade
the
another day.
profit. Right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. But great work, right? Great work. Beautiful move, right? Most people they'll make 100 pips in a week. So, great work on that, and great job holding through, right? The move to the top side. So, great work. Drop some sevens for Marshall in the chat. Appreciate you, sir. Great question.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Absolutely, absolutely. Any other questions on this dollar Swissy? No. All right. Cool deal. Dollar yen. Dollar yen. So let's go back to the daily before we talk about this 1 hour chart. Daily time frame, we're pressing long, right? Pressing long. We are on the go. Okay. Excuse me, 618 retracement. Didn't get to that D extension fully on that move up when we got to that 152 level back in November. Made our way back down. Now we're pressing back topside. So Bank of Japan still hasn't made any changes. Got some data coming out for them in the coming days as well. But price is pressing long. So CPI data is going to determine this pair as well. Okay. Um, so we'll continue to watch. You see, we got some indecision here now on the daily, right? So coming down to the 4, come all the way back. Pop these out. We'll do this. There we go. All right. So on the 4, we've got also gotten that 618 retracement, and we're pressing long. The extension 152,311, right? Just above our high there. We're headed there. Strong moves to the upside. Again, BOJ hasn't changed anything. We're getting small pullbacks and continuations. So we'll watch and see if we continue to get those on the press long. Okay. So now coming down to the 1, this is where things get a little bit tricky. Okay. Let's clear that out. Come here, run the fib top side. So we haven't gotten to this 382 level on the 1 hour yet. The extension is just inside that 149,701, right? So we'll watch this again, the data, right? Because we could get a spike to get to that D extension and then see a pullback and then continuation long. Okay. So watch this one closely. If you're still in this because price hasn't hit that D extension yet, that's fine, right? Continue to allow the trade to do its thing. And we'll just continue to monitor the moves as it goes, understanding that that data is going to be likely be our determining factor there. Okay. So it's still 80-20 is still intact. Now, if the data comes in below, right, well below, you could see it fall, right, and move us back into profit. But if the data is in line with expectation, right, or hotter than expected, we'll see that thing rise top side. All right. So that is the dollar yen, looking to see what happens there at those highs. Okay. Questions on the dollar yen?
No, sir.
All right. Cool deal. Boom, there are the trend lines. Trend lines to the upside. So we'll watch those and see how that goes. All right. Pound Swissy. I'm gonna take a look at this one real quick. See the move there, right? Strong move to the other side. We talked about this one last week, and I believe we touched it on the weekend, Benny, right? Push to the top side. We got a 618 retracement. Beautiful C to D move, right? Beautiful swing.
Yep.
Bang, right? So we're coming into some weekly resistance there at 111, right? But we're headed to the D extension. This is on the 4. So that's been a beautiful move to the upside for those that trade those C to D moves, right? It's 248 pips so far with a little bit to go, okay? So continue to manage your trade here as this one continues to press long, but you see this reaction here, right? From that Swiss data, right? So we broke that daily level, boom. Now next is this weekly level. So we'll watch and see at some point we'll get a pullback on the lower time frames, right? But expecting that to be a pullback and then a continuation long, right? So we'll see if that pullback comes at this 111 zone. Coming down to the 1, right? You already hit your D extension on the 1 hour, right? Same C to D swing, 618 retracement, boom, take off top side, right? So on the 1 hour, that could play into new AB boundary retracement. So we could see that come here before we get to that D extension on the 4 hour. Okay. So watch for a pullback here, coming back into previous consolidation, taking back, it might even take back a lot of that bullish candle there, right? But then we'll look for price reverse and continue moving to the upside. Okay. So that's the pound Swissy update, right? Beautiful move to the upside there, right? And the catalyst came along in the flow of the process, right? Catalyst for that continued move came along in the process. So sweet spots are right in line with everything that occurs. Okay. So that's the pound Swiss. Any questions here? No.
No, sir.
Cool deal. Joy still holding. Beautiful. Great work there. Right. Anybody holding that still on that move top side? Drop some sevens in the chat for you. Again, right? Most people they think these moves don't happen, right? But you see, understanding the fundamental thought process of how the market moves, it happens all the time, right? Just got to have the mindset for it. Okay. Just got to have the mindset for it. Okay. So that's the pound Swissy. Let's go over to some of these pound pairs. Pound Aussie. Pushing topside. We've been watching this one at this level here to see where price goes. Okay. And looking to see where price goes. And we broke above the weekly level. Now you see the strong bullish push. We'll see if we're going to be able to break above this daily resistance level here. Okay. So we're going to watch this level to see if we're able to break above that and continue this move to the upside. All right. This has been a strong move along. Right. So we got that bullishness out of the UK with the data. Okay. So we'll continue to monitor there from a longer term perspective. Coming down to the 4, we got the 382 push here. So it makes sense for this to continue moving top side. Okay. Makes sense for it to continue moving top side. So we'll continue to monitor that, see if any pullbacks come. Coming down to the one. Actually, come back to the daily real quick, right? Because overall, this hasn't gotten to the 382 level. So looking for a high price ultimately, potentially at this 197,473, right? And then see if we get price to turn back over and move lower, right? This is a sub fib coming off the high here, tracking that retracement. But overall, right, at some point could potentially see price come back to that 382 level in this range, right? So longer term view, but looking for a high price still, right? 618, 786, 86 range, then see if we can get price to move back down. So coming down to the one, there we are. 382, price pushing long, staying above that weekly level. So we'll watch as price gets to that D extension on the 1 hour, right? So that was just continuing long there. Okay. What's I gonna say here? I don't know what I was gonna say here on the lower time frame. Yeah, no. Yeah, so we'll just continue to watch that one moving to the upside. All right. Sub fib long do got an 80-20 scenario here, right? This is a sub fib, so we'll just watch that and see if we get a retracement. Okay, so this is one put on your radar. We might get a pullback down to the 786 range. All right, so there's your 80-20 there on the 15. See what that looks like on the 5. Yep, similar on the 5-minute time frame as well. Okay, so short-term intraday setup here for any of those that trade on the lower time frames. 80-20 scenario, 118, 127. Look for those additional confirmations and retracement here before potential continuation to the upside. Oops. There we go. All right. So that's your lower time frame opportunity there. Definitely add in your additional confirmation points. And did already get a trend line break there, but we're pressing back to the upside. So we'll watch this. That's your trend line. There's your break there. We're pulling back now. If we come back to the high here, 194,330, right? I'll adjust that trend line to the outermost point like that. All right. So we'll watch and see how this trend line moves. That'll be the reason that I adjust the trend line if we come back to the high there. So there's your 80-20 on the 5 and the 15. Questions on the pound Aussie? Nope. All right. All right, cool deal. So we'll watch that one, right? We got to push to the upside right now. It's 27 pip stop loss. That 382 is at 35 pips. So you got your 1-to-1 trade there. If it pushes deeper, that increases that risk to reward ratio there. Okay. Like so. All right, cool deal. So that's the pound Aussie. And what I'm going to do, that's going to be one that I take. So we'll watch that. We'll watch that as it moves. Pound CAD. Nice run, right? So higher time frame daily, right? We're caught in a bit of a back and forth, but we've got nice bullish action coming off the daily support level here, right? Strong push to the upside. We'll see how things continue moving. We do got oil moving, but this pound is definitely pushing long. So 4 hour 618, nope, 786 retracement, daily level, and we're pushing long. Right? Strong bullish action off the low, got a nice pullback, and now we're continuing long. right? So we'll watch and see how far this one pushes if we're able to get to that D extension here just inside of this daily resistance 171, 695, 600 is that D extension there, right? So pressing to the upside, we'll look to see what happens as price gets there. Okay. So beautiful move there. Okay. Coming down to the one, we'll look at some of these here. Yep. So similar deal. Okay. This one actually, yep, 786. So matching the extension is there. So it's all in alignment with this daily resistance level, right? As price continues to move topside. So beautiful move. Hopefully some folks were able to take advantage of that one, but it is on the go. It is on the go. That pound data gave us a nice push. Now, as we come down to the lower time frames, could look for pullbacks and then continuations. Okay. Pullbacks and continuations. Boom. Okay. Another 80-20 scenario there. Look for a pullback into the zone, right? And if you don't trade the 80-20s, that's beautiful, right? Trading with the trend, wait for price to pull back into your zone, right? Give you a low price and look for your buying opportunity for that to continue moving topside. Okay, but there's another 80-20 on the pound CAD on the lower time frame. All right. So let's we'll monitor this one as well. Boom. And boom. All right. Give me 1 second, everybody. All right. I just wanted to, I'm actually going to take this trade. So I'm going to get that set up in my system. All right. Cool deal. And no questions here on this pound CAD.
No, sir.
All right. Cool deal. We'll keep it rocking. All right. Then the pound yen, it ran off on us, right? Another push to the upside. So here on the daily, we're pushing now into this 118, 127 zone. Trying to break this daily level, 188, 862. Right. Let's see if we're able to close above that. Right. We pushed past that 118 level with that wick there. So let's see if we can continue to rise here, right? And push into that zone. Maybe we see 195 to 229, right? Maybe we see that level. But looking for price to push into the zone, and then we'll see what happens. Right. Then we'll see what happens. But moving long there against the yen, obviously, right? Bouncing back one more level to the weekly, right? We got 118, 127 zone here around that 195, 229 level, right? So we could see that continue to rise, give us full 80-20s on the daily and the weekly time frames. And then we could see if we get those retracements out from there. Okay. So we'll watch that from a higher time frame perspective as well. Okay. Um So we'll watch that continue to move topside. Coming down, looked at the daily to the 4, right? We got a 50% push headed long. So it makes sense, right? The extension here, 191, 426. So look for a pullback, retest that 188,702 level, and look for another ride to the upside. Okay, and that'll put us into those zones, 118, 127 on the daily, and the getting closer to that weekly 118, 127 zone. Okay, that is that. Then coming down to the 1, right? That push long is here. We got a beautiful 786 retracement on the move down, right? Ben talked about that C to D move. Boom, right? Got the D extension hit. So now look for a new AB boundary, pullback, continuation to the upside. Okay. So that's where we're rocking there. That's where we're rocking there. Right. So that one's continuing to rumble to the upside. This C to D move played out beautifully. If anybody took that move long in the beginning of February, look at it. 300, 400 pips at its high, some more to go. All right. So beautiful scenario on the 1 hour on that pound yen, right? Then you had, there were some sub fibs running here too, right? And some things on the lower time frame, but those D extensions, I believe, also got hit. So as it come down to the 15, right? You see price just ran through that AB boundary, right? So we had, boom, right? So there's your C to D. I'll take this fib out real quick. There's your C to D move, right? 8-6 retracement, take off to the upside, D extension achieved, right? On your sub fibs off of the low there, right? So beautiful move to the upside on the lower time frames as well. Also had this here closing out the week last week, right? Shallow retracement, 118 and 127 zone, takeoff, right? And that started that move to the upside there, right? And then you see the catalyst. So come down to the 5. See if we got, well, it's already moved out of the zone, but shallow retracement, 118 and 127 zone, that retracement is in effect, right? Looks like we might get a pullback, come back and retest some of these levels here, and then a continuation to the downside in this retracement for a continuation long, right? See if we get a move like that. And then retest, continuation to the upside, right? So some lower time frame scenarios here for us that we'll continue to monitor and then look for those low prices to get back low. Okay. Questions on the pound yen? Nope.
Nope.
All
I think
right.
we're all good.
All right. And then the pound dollar. Right. This beautiful 80-20 that's been taking its time, beginning of the month. Boom. It's moving, right? We got to our 382 level there. That TP1 was achieved. Now we'll see. Got some indecision coming in now. We'll see next hour how price moves. Give me 1 second, everybody. All right. So we'll see how price moves. See if we get that continued push to the top side there. Okay. So that's the pound dollar on the 1 hour, right? And we'll see what happens over the long term. Um, Still in between, right? We on this Um, on the daily, right? Just missed that 382. And you see price trying to turn over, right? Giving us a pullback right now. So we'll see how the dollar moves in line with this with this pound. Might see a little bit more consolidation. And then we'll see if we get a breakdown and a move back down to the downside. Okay. All right. And then down to your 4. This is going to be the interesting scenario to watch here, right? 6-1-8 retracement, wasn't able to break out, came back down, almost gave us a triple bottom scenario there. Now we're pushing back to the top side. So we'll see how deep this push long goes and if we're able to break out and continue moving long. Okay. So we'll watch and see. Get a pullback like this and then a move down, or do we break out and continue running? All right. So something for us to watch there as we try to figure out this range here on the lower time frames. Okay. And then back to that 1 hour, there's your swing. Okay. Questions on the pound dollar? Nope. All right. Cool. Let's we'll look at this CAD Swiss, right? Because with that Swiss data, we're really starting to get some traction. Another impulsive move along, right? Able to break this weekly resistance level, run into a level of daily resistance just shy of that daily 382 there, right? 65,535, but strong push up. So we'll look for a pullback and then a continuation, right? Coming down to your 4, right? Had that beautiful 618 retracement off of the original push out of the consolidation. And then this last push, we're able to break through this previous zone of consolidation as well to continue this move to the top side. So the extension is definitely in sight. So we'll look for lower time frame pullback, retest of that level, continuation. Right? As we continue to make our way down on the 1, the extension was achieved. 618 retracement, matching D extension. Boom. Right. So if you're just trading the C to D move on that, the 155 pips on that move. Right. Boom. Okay. And this is, let me go back, show the larger move here on the 4 so that we understand where we are. Right? There's a larger fib there. So we still got room to go to get to the D extension at 66,430. Right? But this has been a beautiful move out of the zone. Taking its time, but making it happen nonetheless. Right? So out of that zone, we're 213 pips. Okay. With more to go. So continue to manage your trade. If you're still in this, right? Move that stop loss into profit and allow those ABCD waves to continue playing out to the top side. Okay. So now as we come down to the lower time frame, this one is already starting to move as well. But so that's a fresh AB boundary on the 15. Come down to the 5. Didn't quite just wick that 118 level before it turned over. So that one's already moving to the downside. So again, just look for a low price to then get back long as price continues to make those ABCD waves. Okay. Questions on the pound CAD Swiss? Any questions
Nope.
there? All right, cool deal. Let's take a look at it, Kiki. Take a look at gold. See what's happening there. What are you seeing on gold, Kiki?
Sorry, I'm driving.
No, you okay?
So, I was actually seeing a sell, but I'm not sure.
All right.
That's why I wanted you to have a look at it
Sure.
for me.
Let's see what's happening here.
I mean, overall, it's a buy, but I was looking for like the right now money, the minor structure. Yeah,
Gotcha. Lower time frame type scenarios.
exactly.
I got you. Let's take a look and see. I'll look at it from top down
Thank
as
you.
well. Yep, no problem. So there's your 4. There's your AB boundary on the 4. You see we're still caught in this range, right? Not able to break out to the downside below that 2000 level, and we're just pressing sideways here, right? So got a 786 retracement, move up, pull back. Now we're range bound. This dollar data could definitely give us some insight there. So we'll watch for that and see if we're able to turn over and continue making this move to the upside, get back to at least to the top of the range at 2087. So we'll watch and see what happens there. Coming back down now to the 1. It's just choppy there, right? Just choppy. So 1 hour time frame, not a ton doing. And key, we're looking at the lower time frame. So let's drop our fibs on. We know where we are support resistance wise. There's your move top side. You could potentially have the sub fib 80-20 here on the 15, maybe even on the 5. Yeah, so
30-minute is a better view, right?
30-minute better view. All right, so you got a deep retracement here on the 30. Boom. All right. 618 retracement. It has a matching D extension at 197. So see the D move on the 30, right? Potential push to the downside there. Oops. And that's a sub fib off of the larger play. All right, there's your larger move there. That's your C. Price is trying to make its way to the downside. So the matching D extension, this is what I actually do. Because the matching D extension on your capital fib is at 2008.63. So I would track that one as the D extension here. Maybe then, if we do make that push down, we'll get to that $2,000 level. If price does turn over and make its way down to the downside. So that's look on the 30. If we pull these out and go back to that 15 and the 5, right? On the 15, on the sub fib coming off the low, that D extension was already achieved there. Right. So this would actually be a fresh AB boundary on the 15. Okay. There's a new AB boundary there. So potential retracement coming. So then as we come down to the 5, you have this 80-20 scenario. Price did not get to that D extension. You got a high there. It's trying to turn over. So you could have, right, lower time frame, shorter term plays. 80-20 scenario here on the 5-minute time frame. Right? So add your additional confirmations in, be it the cloud or your trend lines. And you could potentially see a move down again, right? You got data coming in about an hour. So be cautious there, right? I personally wouldn't get in this beforehand. Just because that data could definitely be volatile. But there are your trend lines there to the upside. Okay. So there's the scenario. Could happen, but understand we got data coming in an hour. So just if you do take it, play with caution, right? Stop loss isn't too far, right? 13 pips to the D extension, right? So not a wide stop loss there, so not a ton of risk, but just make sure your rules are met if you take this to the downside, right? Depending on how you trade ahead of news and things like that. Yeah. So potential short-term opportunity to the downside. And then we'll
Hey,
see
Ryan,
what happens from there. Yes.
can you go to the 4 and drop your cloud on it?
Yeah.
Because it's some
Absolutely.
confluence for a sale.
Oh, for sure. Okay. Here's the move there. All right, so to the 4, let's see. I don't know what's happening with my chart this morning. Let's see.
Mine's froze a little bit too.
Yours froze too?
Yeah, it just took a little bit of time. I thought it was because I was working out of my office in the basement, but
I
it
got
might
an
be something.
updated message on it.
Let's see.
I think they still updating.
Okay. So we might not get to see that 4-hour Joyce.
I'll post a screenshot. So on the
Can you?
cloud, the line cross has happened underneath the cloud, and
Okay.
price is just going back to, oh, I keep forgetting my lines, the blue one, the conversion line. So it's hitting up against the conversion line, and then prices in basically reached the sell spot on the stochastic.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Appreciate that. We will continue to monitor. So hopefully that helped, Kiki, right? You might have some short-term opportunities on the move down, and then let's see where the news pushes price. All right.
Thank you very much.
You are very welcome. Questions? Any other questions or anything that we covered this morning? One way to wrap it up. We'll take you off of the screen so you can see see my bright, shiny face.
You're muted, right?
I don't hear you.
Yep. I think you muted.
Oh, my bad, everybody. I apologize. uh, any questions or anything that we covered this morning? Nope.
Hi, Ryan.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
Michelle.
Hey, can I please see your GBP card? Just for,
Might not be able to.
because
My
you did it.
charts are frozen. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
What time frame you're looking at when they pop back up? I can get a screenshot dropped in for you.
Hold on, let me look. I know you showed like a lower time frame move. I wanted to see your
Yeah.
4 hour.
4 hour. Okay. When they pop back up, I'll get one posted in the community for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. How you been, Michelle?
Good.
Good to hear your
Good.
voice.
Yes, likewise. I'm like, okay, I'm here. No, everything
Good
is
to hear
good.
you.
How's everything with you?
Everything's going well. Everything
Awesome.
is going well.
Awesome. I catch the replay, so even if I'm not talking, I'm always here.
Oh, listen, I know.
Yeah. Yes, but it's nice to see you.
Absolutely, you too.
Yes.
All right. Benny, anything before we wrap it up, bro?
Yeah.
No,
Hi,
sir.
Ryan.
Oh,
Before you go, I have a like it's more like a suggestion, not a question. I was wondering if you can give a discount to the new people that want to join, because I have like 2 people that want to join, but the price is a bit high for them. So I was wondering if you and Benny can give a discount to maybe the first 10 or 20 people.
we'll chat about that. We'll
Okay.
chat about that. Okay. Yep. Have they put the name on the wait list?
I will find out about that because I sent them the link.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure they get on that. Make sure they get on that wait list.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Thank
All
you.
right. Appreciate it. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you spreading the word. It's beautiful. Marshall, I'm going to refine my trading plan. Absolutely. Great work. Great work. Continue digging in, right? You're on a beautiful path. On a beautiful path. Benny, what you got for us, bro?
Not too much, man. Great session as always. Just be patient, right? Around the data.
Yeah.
This is a major report that investors have been talking about for over a week. So you guys know how we do it in the trade room. We let the dust settle. We don't try to guess which way the market is going to go as a result, right? If you're already in trades that could be impacted, manage your trade. Like Ryan said, what does your trade plan say? How do you do it? Do you take money off the table? Do you adjust your stops? However, do you get out completely? However you do it, it's going to come down to your trade plan. Everybody trades differently. But other than that, again, man, awesome session. Let's see what happens with the data that comes out at 8:30.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. Everybody, patience. Have a phenomenal day. Find your 1%. We'll see you in the morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the pre-New York session. Peace.